Thank you so much to everyone who has joined us for today. We have some very special guests, the heart and soul of Habitat for Humanity in New York City, the homeowners, and we have special guest homebuyer Luke, who will be joining us later today. We also have Senator Montgomery, who will not be joining on camera, but is dialed in. So really quickly, Kianah and company, why don't y'all introduce yourselves and welcome tonight's audience.
Hello, my name is Ebony Lunford.
Hello, my name is Earline King. I'm the president of 2178 Atlantic Avenue.
Hello, I'm Taffy Barrett.
Hello, my name is Deborah Adams. I'm also Kianah's mom, and I've been living here for 38 years.
Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Kianah Adams, and I have lived in 2178 for my whole life.
My name is Deborah Gapson.
So nice to meet all of you. Senator Montgomery, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, Senator Montgomery here, and I just want to say hello to my constituents, all of you from 2178.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Awesome. So for those of you who are new to Habitat NYC and learning about the amazing work that we do across the city, you will quickly learn about our amazing preservation program, which is redefining our role in the affordable housing sector and how we as an organization are able to preserve and develop affordable housing. This is a really special story, 2178 Atlantic. If I may just be blunt, I've been kind of grappling with like the polite way to say this, but the unfortunate reality was that the homeowners were being subjected to some what I would consider racist housing policies and were at risk of essentially losing home ownership at this property. But they came together, they championed, they dedicated themselves to overcoming this obstacle, and Senator Montgomery was also incredibly supportive and instrumental in the process. So I don't really feel like I need to tell y'all story. This is your story. I just want to cue it up and share my love and enthusiasm for your strength and your power. It is very inspiring. Kianah, I know that you had some things that you wanted to share with the senator, so go ahead and take it away.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for your time and listening to our story. So I first of all, I do want to say thank you so much to Senator Montgomery, because her office and everyone that was involved, who knows the story, knows that you guys were the ones who really make our story heard. And you gave us the press, you gave our story you shedded light on our story. So that everybody can be aware of the predatory lending, just the predatory aspect of home ownership that's been going on for so many years. So in order to talk about our story now, we have to go into the history of it. So if it's okay, I can give it to Ms. King.
Hello, everyone.
Okay. All right. I'm excited to hear.
Yes, my name is Earline King, and I lived here for almost 40 years. I was here when this was a sweat equity program that the community has started. We paid $35 for our apartments. We had to help the engineers with the flooring. We helped. And finally, we moved in the building. We took out 2 loans, a city loan and a government loan. We paid off the city loan, but the government loan was hard, but we managed to keep up the mortgage payment with the government loan. So with that, we also had the J51, which had a tax debate. After 20 years, the tax debate ran out, which we wasn't aware of. So that then our taxes went into our mortgage, which tripled our mortgage, which we could not afford. We were still paying our mortgage, but we couldn't afford what they attached to it because we didn't have the tax. So after we went to the council person, Darlene Millie, who helped us, we received it, but we didn't know we had so little time to proceed with it. So therefore, now HPD said that they would give us the money, that they owe us, but we would have to settle the mortgage payment. So we was getting a runaround. So meanwhile, someone came and brought the building, and for that I let Key go.
Yeah. So in 2019, we found out that the building went into foreclosure. Somebody put a credit bid onto the building and purchased the property. And we went to court after a long foreclosure battle. We ended up in front of Judge Ash, who actually not only sat and listened to our story and heard our story and was able to really understand where we came from and how we fight, but she also saw that we had been saving our money. We had been up to date with all of our events prior to everything kind of going south. We were on track with everything. We never missed a payment. We were on track with everything. As of that, she also saw that we had a lot of money that was saved in escrow. And because of that, we were awarded a redemption period to be able to redeem our property. And typically in New York City, that does not happen. Once your building goes to foreclosure, that's it. So we were very fortunate to be able to receive that time. And with that, the 90 days that we had to our property, we were able to get in touch with the city councilwoman, Alika Samuels, the Assemblywoman Walker. We were in touch with Senator Montgomery's office, and everybody put together. Everyone just came together and was able to help us. At Alika Samuel's office, we were able to get in contact with Cottrell from Habitat, who actually kind of kickstarted a lot of this process for us. We were in touch with Charlotte, and from there, Habitat has just been amazing and really instrumental. And they were really the game changers that were able to, get this process going for us. And we were also in touch with Deborah Bechtel, who's been who's Brooklyn Law School. Her and her students have been helping us out for years. And one of her students was actually one of the partners at Kramer 11. So they are, a very well-known bankruptcy law firm who took our case on pro bono. And their involvement in our story, it really changed the outcome, because it was not looking good for a very long time. And because everybody was able to come together and was able to help us, and with the help from the law firm, from Kramer 11, from Brooklyn Law School, from Habitat for Humanity, everything just came together, and we were able to not only get out of foreclosure, but we were getting out of bankruptcy, we're getting our tax rebate back from the city, and we're homeowners again. Yes. These are things that people don't really realize going into home ownership. I'm sorry. That people don't realize in going into home ownership, that these are the things that you really have to be aware of and think about. And they're not things that you would expect, but thank goodness for Senator Montgomery also for being able to bring our story to the limelight and to bring our story to right in front of people's faces. Because this was a very silent process, or a very silent, people were not aware of how many people were losing their homes, and especially in our communities. And we're just very grateful and very happy, and we can't thank everybody enough for doing everything that they've done. Everybody has gone above and beyond for us to be sitting here right now.
Yes, because in the beginning, it seemed like nobody wanted to hear us. It's like everywhere we went, it was a stop. We had no voice. But after we started going to our council city and Miss Montgomery, we really, really thank you because your office sat down and listened to us. They actually listened to us. So we appreciate it and we thank everyone for your help.
Yes.
And we definitely thank Habitat for the funding to get us secured. Because that allowed us to get the refund that HPD had for us. And we're really grateful to every single one of you.
So for everyone who's in our position, just don't give up. Because there's been so many times we just wanted to say, but this is our home. Most of us was born and raised here in Brownsville, Brooklyn. Just don't give up.
Right, we never gave up.
We was to our lowest low, and every one of you brought us back to our higher high.
Yes, yes. And because of that, we are wearing our t-shirts. I don't know if everybody can see. We actually had, with social distancing and COVID and everything, we were still able to try and come together and have, yes, thank you. We were able to come together and actually celebrate our victory. So we have our We Did It shirts for 2020. We did it. And we cannot be any more overwhelmingly grateful for everything that Habitat has done for us, that all the city council people have done for us, that Senator Velmanette has done. It's just been so life-changing, and we would, as I mentioned, we would not be sitting here right now if it wasn't for the just the effort and the vision that everybody had for us.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Habitat, and everyone else.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can I respond? I'm listening to you, and I'm so many thoughts go through my mind. I just want to start by saying to you how absolutely proud and pleased I am that one, you had the foresight and the determination to reach out to us, all of the people who represent you, especially those of us that you elect to represent you. I appreciate the fact that you came in time for us to be able to help you, and that we were able to do that. I think what comes to my mind as well is that there is someone who is the catalyst, who is the person who brings us together and creates the vision and the strategy and gives us the incentive to stay together and to fight. And I think that that's possibly, among others, that's Earline King. So Earline, you are the Harriet Tubman of 2178. I just want to put that out there. I'm feeling very, very strong about that. I'm also very pleased that you guys were able to see the long view. And you started out over 30 years ago. At that time, when it was affordable for all of us to live in this district. But you also saw that there would be a day like today when we would have to go back to the streets and talk about Black Lives Mattering. But you should know that at the point where you first were able to purchase your units, and when by the time you came to me, I was already very cognizant of my role in making sure that I acted as if Black Lives Matter. So when you did come, I, not anticipating, but it was my job to sit down and listen and to go to work on your behalf. So I'm pleased that you gave me that opportunity. And I just want to say that there are organizations that we do not always recognize as being part of the dismantling of the issues related to why we have so much homelessness and why people get their properties stolen from them, and
Yes.
why those people like 2178 homeowners are often very, very silently having their properties stolen from them, taken from them by government action. There are organizations like Habitat that are there prepared to step in. And I can't say how much I appreciate them and the many other not-for-profit community housing development organizations that have been so instrumental in building a community of affordable homeownership, affordable housing for people like the residents of 2178. So this really is such a celebration. And I'm so sorry that we can't be together, that I can see you and we can talk to each other and hug each other, and I can really see, and you can see on my face, the joy that I have when I see and am able to celebrate this kind of victory. So I thank you, and I'm going to mail to you a copy of our report, because there's still some outstanding legislation that I tried to get done for HDFCs, give you some additional relief. They didn't get done, but we should still continue to work to make sure that going forward, you are recognized as a very special group of people, and that your housing is your right, and that whatever we do, we should be supporting you and not providing tax breaks for luxury housing developers that we're doing now. Those breaks should go to you. So I'm again thanking you for sticking together, for your unity, which brought you to this point, for the fact that you matter, you will always matter, and whatever we do, we have to use this as an example of how you win. And that is stay together, stick together, fight for your rights, and keep your eyes on the prize, as you did when you first started out all of those years ago. So thank you again, and all the best to you, and to Habitat, thank you. And I can't say enough about what you bring to the people that we represent. Without organizations like you, we would not be able to enjoy victory as we are doing tonight. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations on your retirement. I heard that you were retiring.
Yes, I will be at the end of the year, but I'll be looking to see what's going on and continuing to be a part of the community in which I live.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know you've been looking after us.
Yes,
I know you will.
absolutely.
Senator Montgomery, oh, go ahead.
I just want to say thank you very much. I really appreciate you inviting me and including me in this fundraiser.
Senator Montgomery, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are so honored to honor you as one of our 2020 honorees at the virtual Habitat House Party. Thank you for your incredible work that you have done, not just all of the stories that you shared tonight, but in the tenure of your amazing career. We are so grateful for leaders like you who make affordable housing a reality. I'm actually quite speechless. I feel like I'm kind of rambling at this point and just want to gush with gratitude for taking the moment, for taking some time to join us tonight. Thank you so much, Kianah, Ms. King, and all of the amazing homeowners that we're honoring tonight. Thank you so much for sharing your powerful story and for using your story to inspire everyone around you to pursue their dreams, to never give up, and to always believe in yourself, and to believe in community as well, because we are stronger together. Before we transition to our next group of homeowners who are so excited to welcome tonight, Kianah, Ms. King, and friends, Senator Montgomery, any last words?
I just want to say the future is much brighter because we have, first of all, I want to make sure everybody gets out to vote.
Yeah.
I see the lines and I'm very happy. And you guys are going to be the legacy that we pass on because our community depends on your success. So I thank you for that.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
And lastly, I just want to say that we have 4 generations that live in this building, and we can continue to hopefully be 5 and 6 and 7 many, you know, we can continue to be here, and we are just so happy.
Fantastic.
Time. Just thank you guys so much for everything that you've done and efforts to our fight.
Absolutely.
We are forever grateful.
Forever grateful. And anybody, homeowners, just don't give up.
Right, that's right.
Don't give up.
It's a struggle, it's a battle. I mean, they have
Just
all the odds against you, but we stuck together.
Yes.
That's great. That is good news, and it's a good example. I hope that you can pass that along to other groups who are struggling like you guys.
Yes.
Awesome. Kianah, Earline, and neighbors and friends and family, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Senator Montgomery, thank you so much for joining us. Any last words before we wrap up?
Just want to say I'm looking forward to your continued success and building in the community that you have created. And God bless all of you. Thank you.
God bless you as well.
Thank you, Senator Montgomery. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll see you in the virtual green room. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will definitely talk soon. To all of our amazing network members who are joining the virtual Habitat House Party as a viewer, I think that what you just heard is a really important aspect of our organization and the work that we do in terms of resolving the complexity around developing and preserving affordable housing. It goes without saying that the homeowners are the bloodline, the passion, the heart, the soul of this organization and affordable housing at large. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm really excited to welcome our next guests. We have a very unique duo, a home buyer and a homeowner. So just for a little bit of context, I mentioned earlier this evening that tomorrow we have our main event, the live stream that will feature the 2020 honorees, including Senator Montgomery, and quite a few of other powerhouses who have made affordable housing a reality in New York City. But you'll also be hearing an amazing story from Brena Bracy-Seals, a homeowner in Brooklyn. I met Brena for the first time this year. Just amazing. And so after the interview, we were catching up and she was just saying that there was so much more that she wanted to share that she didn't get a chance to in the interview prep. So that's actually how this entire webinar came to fruition, because Brena wanted to talk about the experience that she has had after home ownership. And then we got connected to Luke, who is a home buyer. And so it just made sense to bring the two together. So please join me in welcoming Luke and Brena. Y'all can come off mute and There we go. Hey, Luke.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Why don't you take a moment and introduce yourself to everyone while Brena gets off mute?
Hi, everybody. My name is Luke Szabados. I am an excited home buyer in the very first stages of the process at Sydney House in the Bronx. I'm a city employee. I work for a community board in Manhattan, and I'm really excited for this opportunity and this conversation to learn more about what home buying means for community building and just some of the realities of home buying in general. So I'm so happy to have this conversation. But that's a little bit about me.
Thank you for sharing, Luke.
Hi, Ricardo. Hi, Luke. And my name is Brena Bracy-Seals. I'm a homeowner at Atlantic Avenue Residence Condominium in Brooklyn. And I'm a retired educational assistant from the New York City Department of Education. I am also a former board member of Atlantic Avenue Condominiums, the chair actually. And I'm excited to be here and to share my story. Thank you, viewers.
Thank you so much, Brena. So the theme of tonight is life after home ownership. Luke is just starting this journey, like quite literally just starting. Brena, how long have you been a homeowner for?
So I've been a proud homeowner for 10 years, going on 11 years, since 2010. And it's been so excited on my journey as homeownership.
Awesome. Luke, I know that you had a couple questions about beginning the journey of homeownership. So I'm actually just going to let the two of y'all take it away. I don't need to micromanage this conversation. So just go for it.
Great.
Yes.
So one thing that, part of the reality, and I'm going through all of the Habitat for Humanity's courses on home buying. One thing that's come up is, the reality that if something happens, you have to fix it. You have a little bit more agency to where you're living. And I wanted to get a sense from you, like, is that scary? Is that, how are there any stories that you can share about fixing up, repairing your place that I should know about?
Well, yes. So when it comes upon you to say, wow, I went from a renter to a homeowner, the courses that Habitat puts and coordinates for you to take, such as home ownership, home building, home maintenance, allowed me the opportunity to say, okay, this is really interesting. It's an educational course that you take. It's with sheetrock, sweat equity comes into play. First time it hit me is when, of course, the toilet bowl, the flapper, I said, oh, I remember that. I took that in the home maintenance class. And also, I don't have a maintenance staff to call. So I'm the homeowner. I have to be able to fix it myself. So it does come into play where Habitat for Humanity puts these programs and educational programs so that you can build. So for example, I knew how to restore the flapper. I went and purchased it myself. I said, how much would it cost for a plumber to do that? About $150 to come in. So that's why the balance of repairing things yourself it pays off that way. So the experiences comes with it. You're more frugal, but you also care about your property because you know that you have to maintain it and pay for it yourself.
Yeah, I think that's something I'm definitely looking forward to. Just taking ownership, like literally taking ownership of the space you're at, making it your own. And one other thing I know we were connecting a little bit about was like, I work for a community board now, and I'm realizing like how important community is, and I'm trying to view this, and I want to move into this new space with a community-oriented perspective. And I know just from our brief introduction, you are really involved in the community. Can you tell me about how being a part of this program and how being a home buyer makes you, whether you try to or not, or just, by happenstance, more involved in the community?
Well, my experiences have been that I like what you said, Luke, when you said happenstance, because, for example, if you go outside of your home, which my condo is on Atlantic Avenue and Eastern Parkway, for example, we have some shrubs or we have some traffic lights. We advocated for, at the particular time, the police community board for some cameras for the property based on safety for the homeowners, family partners. So it is a happenstance, but it also allows you the opportunity to have power, to feel a part of improving your community by partnering and using it as a platform, being proud. I am a homeowner. We have Habitat for Humanity as sponsors and the great people that help us to be in this position, to use that power to build our wealth and also the community around us. Like I was a participant on my community board, also Community Board 16 with Viola Green and Raphael Espinal, the local politician, when we needed the traffic light outside. Now we have it so they won't speed. So it does empower you, as I keep saying, to be a part of a vision to improve your community, whether it's renters in the community or not. So it is really good. And I'm very proud of you to be a part of your community board. That's one of the things that you start off with, networking and using the politician, the community board for infrastructure, whatever you need. They are there for us. We just have to come together as a group and lift up our neighbors that may not be so proactive in doing that. And again, we have Habitat and the beautiful sponsors behind us that help us to be able to use the parcel of property as a stepping stone.
Kind of on a personal note, you know, I'm in my late 20s, and the prospect of home buying is I'm not going to lie, it's intimidating. It's a big step, and I feel very confident. But ultimately, you know, as I've been renting here in the city for several years, and there's always, you know, a feeling of safety that, okay, if something happens or if I lose my job, you know, I can always find a different solution or move or something like that. There's not as much flexibility there. Do you find that constricting or intimidating, or at all, like, I don't know, challenging?
Well, I do find that challenging, especially post-COVID. So to speak to that point, it is challenging, but then again, the educational process and the journey that Habitat has taken me through, there's always different agencies or ways to come together. And for instance, this financial crisis we're within with this pandemic, Habitat has resources that will allow us or homeowners to feel that you may have this safety niche, but the bottom line is that it is challenging, but once you go through that journey and you know it's yours, they kind of help you all the way through. And I'm not saying that I'm still connected with Habitat like we have a crutch, but they have so many advocacies and connections to help you go and find what you need and resources to leave you out. I've never heard of Habitat allowing any unit owner willingly that had a hardship not comply to meet their financial needs.
Just before this call, we were talking about, you know, how to get involved in the community and where you go, you know, if you have an issue with, you know, a rowdy restaurant or a broken street light or a speed bump that you want to advocate for. And you mentioned that, like, sometimes when you don't know where to go, you know, you can connect with Habitat again. So I think seeing you on this call and you know, even after, you know, 10 or so years, it's encouraging to know that, okay, there's still a community here. It's beyond just, us. We're not just shoved into the wild. It's it's encouraging. So it's a great opportunity to connect.
Well, I just like to speak to the point where one instance where the tree shrubs there, the city had put up some tree pits and they weren't maintaining it, and it wasn't on the onus of the property and the maintenance staff. So I reached out to 311. Certain things, when you take the courses, the educational courses, it's just like 311, NewYorkCity.gov, and Department of Finance. Always protest the taxes and always try to find a reason to level the playing field.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to ask you something regarding the co-op. What strong points do you feel coming through to have your own property? What are some of the benefits that you feel that you will experience that you didn't as a renter?
So it's interesting. I'm learning more about homeownership in general, and co-ops, and how all of this stuff is structured as I kind of proceed through this process. I think some of the biggest things I'm looking for in homeownership is a place to call my home, and not just a place where I can crash at night, but a place that I can really it's an investment, and it's also something I like to think of it as something taking root, and so I want to be more community oriented. I want to be active in my community. I want to make friends with the people on the block, with the the local agencies that help improve our streetscape. Maybe let's plant some trees on the block. So I'm really looking forward to that. And it's so easy when you're living in a big city to feel so transient. And just like you're kind of going through the motions, or you're going from job to job, not really knowing where you're going. And this is kind of an opportunity to just grab a little piece of it and say, hey, this is my opportunity, this is my place, and I'm going to call it home. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. I mean, not only that, but also the place is really nice. It's a brand new place, so it's new. It's amazing. So
yes, it is amazing. It is. I know the feeling of having a closing day, putting the key in the door. It was a stormy winter day, and I was so happy. It was a LEED Gold property, everything brand new. It's just, I was very proud, and I still am proud, and I promised to get back.
Did you, what was the first thing that you did when you moved into your place?
I cried.
You cried?
Yeah, I put the key in the door and the tear came down, and I saw in the corner of my unit, and I hope I don't start tearing up, but I saw a microwave in the corner of my unit with a gift box with a bucket with the Girl Scout picture with a candle, and it said, "Welcome home, Brena." Aww. I was so happy. I was like, I don't need the bed right now. Let me just sit here on my one chair and absorb and thank God. So it was a great feeling, and I was so proud. And I'm so thankful. I promised God that I would always give back and thank you for whence I came. So welcome to the club. You know what I mean when you put the key in the door.
Yeah, thanks. I feel very thankful too.
And I want to thank the sponsors as well. Very so. Thank you.
Yeah, they've been really engaged and involved. I have 2 classes after this call. I'm gonna attend. Cool. Yeah. I'm still through my sweat equity. With the pandemic, it's it's being done virtually, so it's totally new.
I'll help you with your sweat equity.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Brena and Luke, thank you so much for joining us tonight and sharing your stories. Luke, we're very excited for your journey. Brena, you continue to inspire a decade of home ownership, And we just really appreciate your willingness to connect with our community and to stay involved. Every time I have the opportunity to chat with you, I feel so inspired. So thank you so much. We are getting ready to wrap Habitat House Party. Please plan to join us tomorrow evening to hear more from Brena and our 2020 honorees at the virtual Habitat House Party. Before we wrap up, any last words from Luke or Brena?
I just want to thank you, Brena, for your guidance. And I think your story is inspirational. And I hope I can be as impactful and involved in the community where I'm going to live as where you do.
Well, thank you, Luke. Thank you for acknowledging that. And I am so inspired by you. You're energetic, you're young, you're going to get your own property. Ricardo and the Habitat for Humanity New York City family and the sponsors, I am so honored. And I thank you. I would just encourage everyone to for us to be a little kinder and to try to stick through this pandemic and just have a shared spirit of humanity and love on each other a little more. Thank you so much.
Beautifully said. Thank you both. Thank you to all of our viewers, our sponsors, our volunteers, the staff at Habitat NYC, our CEO, our board of directors. The list goes on. I'll probably throw a few more out. The board of directors, the Women Build Council, the Habitat Young Professionals Board, our Building on Faith community, our Built with Pride community, and to all of today's guest speakers who brought a little bit more light on the many different layers of developing and preserving affordable housing in New York City. Brena and Luke, thank you so much. We'll see everyone tomorrow at 7 p.m. sharp for the live lighting of the Empire State Building. In the meantime, please do check out our on-demand videos and our silent auction, which is powered by Charity Buzz. See everyone tomorrow. Have a good night.
Good night.